Hi, my name is Tavleen, and I'm an eccentric scientist when it comes to quantum leaping and understanding how reality shifting works. Today, I'm going to prove to you that this is all a dream. Life is nothing but a dream. When I started going into deeply meditative states like the Theta states, I actually started having very vivid dreams. A lot of these dreams had common thread. For example, like I was constantly shown that there's somebody I really look up to, I really admire. Maybe they're an idol, maybe they're a movie star, and they come in a mall or I'm watching their performance and I'm absolutely in awe. But when I actually reach out to my phone to document it, my phone stops working. Either the battery is very low or it's just camera app is not opening. And recently I had this dream where a person that I really admire and I really watch and look up to, I met her in a mall and I saw her, and I noticed that she had some skin issues. She also had her hands which were coarse, which were dry, which is what I wouldn't expect from that person. So when I started leaning in and understanding what these dreams are trying to tell me, I actually realized that they were trying to tell me that what I am putting on a pedestal, what I'm really admiring, is not what it truly is. So there is always a price to pay, and that is what we overlook because we're so much in awe of people, so much in deep admiration of them, that we actually not look at the price that they've had to pay to get there. Also, the fact that every time I try to document, so even this time with this lady, when I was trying to click a picture with her, somehow we just weren't in the frame. So when I tried to point the camera towards us, we were just not there. It was as if we were invisible. So this really told me that I don't have to document, don't have to keep putting people on pedestal. It was as if my higher self was trying to teach me something so deep, something that I was still processing. And then I had this realization that just the way I'm leaning in and understanding the mysticism behind dreams and leaning in to understand different symbols, the symbolic message that dreams are delivering. What if life too is a dream? And that is when I started looking at the world around me. Like this little child who kept asking his father for chocos. He wanted those cornflakes. And his dad was busy filling up his plate from the buffet. And so the child kept pestering him and begging him and constantly repeating himself that I need my cornflakes. But the dad was completely not hearing, as if, and kept filling up his plate. And then he got to where there was French toast, so he picked it up and handed it to his child. And when I leaned in to understand, because this wasn't a dream, this unfolded in front of my eyes. It happened right there where I was. And when I leaned in to understand the symbolic message of this dream, of this reality actually, what came forth was that the father actually represented the higher self, and the child was the temporal self, the lower self. And while the child, he was all about his wants, his desire, and he wanted a quick rush, a dopamine, an instant spike, a sugar spike with some chocolate cornflakes, and that would be so amazing. But the dad here sort of restrained, and he wasn't going to give in quickly. So what appeared to the child as a delay was actually a very careful order imposed by the father. And the grand display of buffet actually represented abundance. So there is enough available, there is enough to go around. It's not that what he wants isn't available. But what did the father choose? He chose French toast. Not because he was trying to disrespect the child, but because sugar chocos would provide an instant spike. French toast would provide something which is more sustained, a sustained nourishment. And which is what told me that the universe is always listening. It's not that it's not. We think it's delay, but it's actually divine order. And what we finally get is what we need, and perhaps not what we want. Because what we want is dopamine, is just this feel-good factor. Can somebody please see me? Can somebody please validate me? Can somebody please approve of me? And the universe says, no, wait. No, you don't need it. You don't need all that. Validate yourself. Be in your own team. Love yourself like no one can love you ever. And then you'll get to a point where just all icing on the cake. People's validations, people's admiration is just icing on the cake. And that is when you will get it. Because now you don't need it anymore. So what it provides to us is nourishment. But what we want is instant result, is a dopamine hit. And that is where it imposes the order. So I'm going to actually urge you today to look at this whole life as a dream. Become an observer, a witness. Stop yourself and look at it as all a staged drama, a great act. And the actors are so fine, are so amazing, that you really don't realize that they're actually acting. I came across this little clip from Osho, philosopher Osho, where he said that a person was watching a drama, a real stage drama, where a girl was being teased by a guy, and the person who was actually watching it in the audience got so offended by that that he took out his slippers and hit the guy on the stage, to which the actor responded that it means I've done a fabulous job because I was so convincing. That's who we are as well. We're very convincing actors. And it takes courage, it takes compassion, it takes a degree of separation from this whole stage show to just look at it as a witness, as an observer, and see what's actually going on.